Hey, what's up, everybody? Cedric Considra here, CRWC commentary, and we will be reviewing WWE Survivor Series War Games. And I'm gonna tell you right now, the worst part of this whole event, there was no Survivor Series. There was no 4-on-4 elimination, or 5-on-5 elimination, and it would have been suited best if it was for the opening women's War Games match. It would have been better to use that instead of this. Just because the men are doing it don't mean the women got to do it. And I get it. Trying to be in a fair society, I understand. I get it. But these women cannot work like this. And you can watch it. Go and watch it. You might have been enthralled in it. Your emotions high. You're looking at some nice little bodies or something, or whatever the issue is. But go back and watch it with eyes of somebody that's like, okay, I want this to actually look good, not have something in there with people that look good. There's a difference. So they tried. I'm gonna give it that. They tried. And it was a great presentation. They lowered the double cage. And not only did they have the bursting fireballs, which I enjoyed, they had the siren, and it was to add to the overall feel of the event.
It did, yeah.
So I promise a ton of 25 and under people will forever remember that feeling, that rush, that, oh man, this is happening, that feeling. They're going to remember that. It's going to be a positive feeling for the rest of their lives. And the female War Games, that didn't get started until like 35 minutes. But I like the concept, the rollover from WCW that they kept. That's nice. So you got the faces, and people might not even know who's in it. The men's, you know, but this, different. So Bianca, Naomi, Io Sky, Bailey, and the anchor team captain, Rhea Ripley. And on the other side is Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, Tiffany Stratton, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez. So Bailey starts while the rest are locked in cages, and instead of sitting in the back waiting for the countdown. I'd rather that, but okay. Nia Jax starts while the rest are locked up. So Bailey and Nia. And the cage has no top. So it doesn't prevent anyone from entering or leaving. This opens up the ability to gain weaponry advantages, which I think is not needed. I mean, back in the day, War Games, you know what the advantage was? Taped fist and taking off your boot and hitting somebody in the head with it.
Or ramming them into the cage.
Yep.
Or dragging them across the cage. We didn't see any of that.
Nope. I mean, the cage is a weapon, but they didn't even use it. And like, okay, the opening two, they're SmackDown rivals. Nia and Bailey, they just don't work well together.
They don't. It was terrible.
They made so many errors. It was terrible.
It just looked like they were fumbling and stumbling in there.
Naomi comes in and uses the rainbow kendo stick on Jax, and she has a toilet seat. So Jax took a double back body drop, barely got over, nearly landing on her head. And Jax's hair was all out and stuff, so anything she did with her head, like headbutts or whatnot, you really couldn't see. And I get it, they covered it up that way. I get it, but man, to me it was just glaring. Like, we are not that well at what we do, so we got to do this to cover things up. That's what it screamed to me. Tiffany was to join, but Candice jumped in front of her. Jax lightly swings a chair because, hitting people. Like, I got you, girl. I got you again. That's about how it looked.
It looked to me like the chairs were too heavy for them to swing. That was the problem, that it seemed like every time any of them from this point forward, they grab they can't handle it well. It's like hard for them to balance or something. So when they handle it, it just looks really bad. Yep. And it's like, if you want the women to look good handling these chairs, they need different chairs.
Exactly.
Like in New Japan, they have really light chairs.
They were more plastic.
Like plastic chairs.
But they could swing them.
They could swing them big time.
And that plastic would hit.
And shotgun off of them.
Yep.
It was a very good effect. I think that's the kind of chairs the women should use, because using the big chair, the regular black metal chairs, they can't. They don't have the. I guess they don't have the strength to stabilize and wield them, and it doesn't look good.
Which leads to the next thing I say is the women play with furniture with unmatched unbelievability. Candice missed an Asai moonsault on Bailey, who was laid across a few chairs. She missed. She was supposed to hit her. You know, she did the backflip off the middle rope. She did that. And I think she missed her probably about 2 feet. I think her forearms hit her. But I was like, come on. Bianca, she entered, got a fire extinguisher and
did nothing with it.
And a table that excites the fans. The fans chant they want tables, though one was just put in the ring. Maybe they should chant use the table, because. And I learned something. I was mainly against the fans the whole event. Like, what do y'all want? And if you get it, would you even be happy with it? Just one event. Just one event. If the fans chant they want tables, get the table out and use it quickly. Don't dawdle. Don't dilly-gaff. None of that. You care, and you get it done immediately.
No, they only have a table that they put in the ring, and then the crowd says, we want tables, and the table just explodes.
No. Get the table, put it in the ring, and when they say we want tables, go out and get another. And then just keep doing it. Just one event. Just one. Do it. Just one. And I promise you, there will be a split between that's the best match on the planet and that was absolute garbage, and I wish WWE would die. It would be a mixture of that. But Bianca tries to drop kick a chair to Nia, but that missed on both ends. She barely touched the chair. Nia had the chair held out in front of her, and it didn't even go to her face. She just kind of threw it to the side. Naomi tries to drop kick the chair, but it doesn't go anywhere near Nia Jax's head. Tiffany Stratton enters and uses the furniture with expert skill. I'm going to give her that. There was a few catcalling whistles, about 3 or 4 of them. I think 3. Io Sky enters with searching around the ring. Now loading.
Yeah, really.
And then trash can that she hangs off her neck and shoulder and climbs to the top of the cage.
And sets up there.
Yep.
Before climbing back in.
Candice tries to stop her up top. Io popped herself. It was funny too, because they dropped down and Io tried to do a sunset flip bomb, but she sort of lost her grip, and you could just see she turned around and just smacked. She just smacked Candice's ass, and she was laughing. If it was any funnier, Io would have dropped to the mat, got weak from laughing. And commentary's trying to cover it up. It was a show tay. I was like, nah, she just slapped her ass, trying to keep it moving. Raquel, she was next, and the first to use the cage properly by throwing a few of the girls into it. The final 2 are the Raw finals. Not finals, but Raw rivals. So Ripley is the last of her team, gets a table, blasts Raquel in the face, and then gets shut down. It was that quick. Naomi did a hip attack from the top rope into the middle. But, I'm going to say this. It was far less a hip attack than it was just being caught and falling backwards. The heels, they sell Bianca hitting them with her braid. And she's swinging wild with no mustard behind it. And they're like, oh my God, I'm hurt so bad, I'm going to die. And it's like, come on. This is the female war games. I am so glad I didn't pay for this. Ripley headbutts with the mask, clears house a bit, does a watch check for Liv Morgan because time is counting. She's like, it's going to be you. It's you. And I'm like, okay, that's good. Ripley stands center ring with no one touching her as Morgan runs to the back when time runs out. Takes a little bit. Then Morgan comes back with a bat. I think it was Rhea's bat. And it's an easier weapon to fight with. She enters the ring, and the match finally starts. They make the announcement and everything. Rhea takes off the mask and attacks Morgan, and finally the others attack Rhea. It took all of 2+ minutes to get them to regain consciousness. So now the match begins. Oh, man. So Jax hits the Samoan drop on Bayley for a 2 count. Io and Tiffany take a few long minutes to get up top where Sky put the trash can over her and moonsaults on everyone that had to work like idiots to get into position to catch her. Tiffany used the swanton. It just looks so choreographed. I'm like, the fans are into this? Really? Tiffany teased to cash in her money in the bank, and Io uses the extinguisher for fog cover while they reverse the handcuffs from Rhea to Raquel, and the fans chant they want tables. Fire extinguisher, a little switcheroo. We want tables. Okay. That's the wrestling fans today, everybody. No matter what, they want tables. Jax hit a Samoan drop and then a leg drop on Belair for a 2 count. Bayley and Io teased beefing at this juncture of the match. You're in War Games, it's heel versus faces, and now y'all gonna face off with issues. Y'all could have done that from the beginning. Yeah, okay. Jax teased the move on the table on the Belair, taking way too long per usual, and then gets powerbombed by Sky and Belair. Liv hit her DDT on Bayley with a chair for a 2 count. Ripley hit the pump handle slam from the top rope on Liv through a table and got the pin. Babyfaces won, as they should in War Games. The only way babyface is going to lose at War Games is if it's almost the beginning of a rivalry. But this is to blow it all off, so go back to your damn brands and chill. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I don't know much about any of these women wrestling, but I know that WWE has a way that they train, and they have been trained to do this. They have been trained to tiptoe across the ring, to be light, and it makes them look bad. It makes them look bad. There's all kinds of, things that don't connect. They do a lot of missing. Nothing looks stiff. Nothing looks like it's gonna hit somebody with their hair. Really, you're gonna fall out like you've been hit with a pipe. It's just, I don't blame them. I blame where they are.
This is petty on my side, and I get it. I do get it. I have a problem with certain nicknames or call names. And I'm like, Rhea Ripley, you're in there. Look, anybody out there, just be rational with me, please. Just for a second. I know I get on some of your nerves. But your name is the Eradicator. Will you get up and eradicate something? You can't be the Eradicator and not do anything until the end. You should be almost looking unstoppable. You should look kind of Roman Reigns or Jacob Fatu. You're the Eradicator,
I get that. She was the one that looked best out of everyone.
Yeah.
She looked menacing. The stuff that she was laying in looked like it should hurt. She wasn't missing.
She just wasn't. She, if anyone, should be the type that doesn't be all smiling and tongue sticking out at the fans and stuff like that. She should be on somebody and never letting up.
But they don't want women to do that.
And if I had my own company, I'd be like, you need to be unstoppable.
They don't want women to do that, so she is as menacing as she is allowed to be. And to me, it's visible. Is it completely
It screams at you, don't it?
Yeah.
The women, they gotta wrestle and do stuff a certain dainty way. And if anyone does their music, it has to be female voices doing it. It's it might as well be its own separate company. It's like a woman's company in a promotion.
Yeah.
It,
That functions differently.
yeah. You're going to train them to be weak and then put them in matches where they need to be strong. That's setting somebody up to fail. But they want to make money. They want to get acknowledged. They got to be in WWE. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So next we get the United States title match. Nakamura Shinsuke versus the champion LA Knight. And look, we do Fire Pro. You watch the matches. You watch some of the title matches. You say it. This person didn't show up. That's how it was with Knight.
Yeah, he didn't show up.
You know, first minutes are rather standard with no hiccups, no issues. I really like the standing reverse elbow that Nakamura does. Knight hit a quick DDT for a 2 count, and then the over-rotated burning hammer for another 2 count. Nakamura hit a questionable move from the top for a 2 count. It was like a mix of a backdrop and a side throw. It took them forever to get that done. Knight recovers fast, hit the double jump elbow drop for a 2 count. Nakamura hit a reverse DDT in the middle ring plate, which looked nice. Hit the Bomaye for the pin. 1, 2, 3. That's it.
I thought that match was too quick.
You told me. You said that match wasn't too long. It was just right.
Thinking back on it, for it to be a title match, it could have stood to be maybe 4 minutes longer. Maybe 5.
It could have stood to get a maximum of another 10 minutes, maybe.
But I am not experienced in how LA Knight performs. But
he did his stuff, but he didn't perform. That's anyone that understands him. Eli Drake, LA Knight, whichever name you want to give him. That he did his moves, but he did not perform. He did not show up. There is a different tone to him. Basically, he had job face on.
Yeah.
And I was like, I thought Nakamura was gonna win this.
I knew that when it started too. And to me, it felt like Nakamura, did enough.
Yeah. Nakamura didn't show up.
He didn't bust up all the stops. We know
how he can. We have seen a couple of his matches from New Japan, but it's been years about how he can get down. But he still moves the same.
Yeah.
So it's just
he did enough to get the job done.
Yeah. And I had to know that Knight lost with barely any high level effort. So this tells me he's going to be going on to better things, or this will turn into a rivalry. If so, I hope the writers put some effort into it. I do hope they don't do with Knight what they did with what Baron Corbin became homeless or whatever the hell they did with him. And it's like this dude was like, I don't have the job. I'm losing money. And I'm like, we're supposed to believe that while you're on WWE TV, where you know damn well they wouldn't let some homeless dude on TV. There are people that's in their company and then they gone, they vanish. And you're like, okay, I ain't even know if they was gone. Then you see them in another promotion. They're going to let you, the homeless dude that don't work there anymore, in there. You getting paid. I'm like, when they was talking about it, I wasn't even really watching it. I just kind of had to look at it when Cornette and Last would kind of laugh. He'd be like, this is good stuff. And I was like, how is it good stuff? You know that he's employed. You know he's making a minimum of about $200,000 a year. He all right.
You know that he's employed.
I'm just saying, I couldn't believe that. Maybe I just don't get it. Maybe that's what it is. I don't get the it that others want me to get. I don't know.
I guess it's possible.
Next, we got a 3-way Intercontinental title match. Sheamus versus Ludwig Kaiser versus the champion Braun Breaker.
It was a good match.
Yep. It was a fun match at the opening when Ludwig wedged the chair into the buckle, not knowing both of his opponents are watching him. Ludwig turned. He was a little startled, and the fans got a nice little chuckle with that. And so did I. They fought outside the ring for a long time to get their stuff in. They got the drop kick into the steps, the flying lariat, the apron to table double clothesline, and the hammer punches to a 12 and then a 10 count. They got all their stuff in on the outside.
And it looked good.
Yeah. You know, and it's a good match. Just too much outside time, I'm thinking. Sheamus used the shillelagh, but there was no DQ, so I guess there's no DQ in these matches. Sheamus hit the diamond death drop for a 2 count on Breaker. Oh yeah, I'm messing with y'all out there listening. I'm messing with you. And I'm doing it truthfully. I'm not messing with lies. Breaker hit the Breakensteiner, I think that's what they call it, and missed the spear as he hit the corner chair Ludwig had put there. You was like, I forgot that was there.
Yeah. He plowed into it.
Yeah, he did. Braun commits to everything.
Yes, he did. There are no half measures
None.
when he does a move. It's all or nothing. I'm going to kill nobody or I'm going to kill all of us. It's just...
Yeah. And then let's see. Sheamus, he hit his finish and got a 2 count. Ludwig pulled the ref out. And that ticked off everybody, the fans, Sheamus, the ref. And I'm like, what you going to do? Ain't no DQ?
Yeah.
Ludwig uses the shillelagh to beat on Sheamus. Just whoop the man. Just whoop a man.
Wonderful. Because, normally they be out there with a weapon or a kendo stick, whack, whack, then they throw it aside and then step on him or something. No, he beat this man with a shillelagh till the thing broke and then kept beating on him. It was lovely. He understood the assignment. I'm a heel. I'm to be disliked. I'm going to work hard for that. And he did.
Yep. Sheamus hit the flying knee bomb on Kaiser for a 2 count. Ludwig hit his finish on Sheamus, and then Braun speared Kaiser out of the ring. Braun spears Sheamus and pins him to retain. And had to note, really good match. Did the 3-way well without it being stupid.
Yes.
No one did too much or too little. This was well done, and I thought Ludwig Kaiser is highly underrated.
Mm-hmm.
Highly. But he didn't get beat, so that's a good thing.
Yep.
That means they could work with him.
They got annoying hair. You just want to grab him by that hair and swing him over your head.
Yeah, look, though his haircut look make him like a German racist. But then if he cut it off, he look like an American racist. He needs to just grow it out evenly, but not too long. But it don't need to have, Monfura written on it.
Oh no.
So.
Oh no.
You see what the issue is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So next we get the WWE title match: Damian Priest versus Gunther. I really wish he would say, "I'm no longer Gunther, I'm Walter," and go back to that. That would be nice. So after the shoulder block, wow, man, what is up with my writing? What was I writing? I read it, but it's AFTE space QA space SHOUJLDER space LBOCK.
I don't know.
Comma Priest.
I think you had your fingers off. You didn't have it properly positioned on the keyboard, and so when you don't have your fingers properly positioned on the keyboard, everything is wrong.
I'm typing, and oftentimes I'm going back and editing what I type, but I read this like, yeah, it was right there. I saw it, but then I had to look like, what are these letters? Okay, so, and Priest's shoulder ailed, and it was ominous looking at Gunther, observing it. Gunther was on the mat, and you could see his eyes cutting over, just observing
his shoulder. What?
What?
What did you say?
His shoulder had ailed.
It ailed.
Okay. It was hurt. He had pain. Look, I know that's $1 million word for your college graduate, but I'm just letting you know.
Hell up. It didn't sound like you said ailed as in ailing.
His shoulder ailed.
It sounded like you said his shoulder ailed, like the letter L. Like, what the hell is that?
Oh, no, after he got hit, that shoulder aged about 30 years.
I was like, ailed? What?
That shoulder was a senior on the body.
Oh.
So
it showed they got an AARP card.
there you go. That thing applied for Social Security quick. And I just thought it was really ominous. It was that air of, oh my goodness. He was just staring there. I was like, that shoulder's finna die.
Jack that shoulder all the way up.
And he did.
He did.
Quickly, Gunther took to the arm, worked on it outside the ring, gained a double arm in the ring, gained a double arm ringer with an S grip, which usually that's reserved for women because they're usually that flexible to do it with no issues at all. The fans didn't react. Literally, he got him in the move, and the fans was like, we're regular cheering and it's dying down. So he just stopped the move and let Priest make a small comeback. Got a hope spot, made a good comeback after a few Mexican chops or overhand chops or overhead chops or front chops, whichever your flavor, anybody out there. And then a short boast and an elbow strike, which is exactly how you do it, not the way Jey Uso does it. Because Jey Uso, you got to stand there for damn near 20 seconds waiting. So I like that. Chop, chop, raise hand, smack. It was that quick. Priest evaded a powerbomb, which was good. Priest countered more arm work. And he reversed that into a really good outside triangle choke. I thought that was really good. Mm-hmm. And honestly, if he had twerked it a little bit, or torqued it, I think if he torqued it a little bit, he didn't start wiggling his ass. But no, if he torqued it a little bit, he would have got a legit surrender from Gunther. And, that would have been going into business for himself, and this ain't the 1940s anymore. So, Gunther reversed a few moves, gained a sleeper, and then the powerbomb for a 2 count. Gunther got caught up top. Priest climbed up the rope. Frankensteiner looked nice. Mm-hmm. Priest hit the Diamond Death Drop for a 2 count. Priest tried his choke slam a few times. He tried. Arm wasn't working.
And failed.
Gunther counters. Got a rolling Kimura and head trap. Now, Gunther did lose the hold, but he got it back quickly.
Yeah, he did.
Yep. It was nice. Like, anyone that's just kind of watching be like, okay, he had to float him over, then had to get the arm back. Nope, he lost it. He lost it, but Gunther knows what he's doing. He got it right back. Priest eventually makes it to the ropes after a good bit.
Now, see what he should have done is just bit his leg.
He bit the shit.
His head was right between his thigh. All he had to do was turn his head just a little bit.
Bite him.
And bit his thigh. You want to know what would have happened? He would have bit Gunther's leg. Gunther would have let go of the hold, and his hands would have went out. Ah!
Yep. And then he would have started frantically fighting him.
Because that's what happens anytime anyone gets bit. Their arms go out. And then they start trying to get them off the body part.
It's weird, ain't it? It's like your arm trying to escape the pain area. It's like, we don't care about the rest of you. We got to flee.
It's his inner thigh, too. That's not a used to being assaulted. He could have got him a good bite.
There might have been some fish flopping with that one.
Yeah, he should have bit him.
Gunther hits a couple of return clotheslines. And even commentators like he's playing with him and he needs to stop. And he tried to return lariat, but Priest hit one of his own instead. Priest hit the spinning rebound lariat for a 2 count. It didn't look that good on this. I think maybe the ring is too big. I swear that's a 20 by 20 ring.
It was a very large. I mean, they were stretched out diagonally from head to head, and they still had room around their feet. That was a huge ring.
Yep. It's a ring where you can sprint. The women were still tiptoeing. You could sprint in that ring. Up top, Priest pushes off Gunther, and then he falls to the floor himself. The fans are chanting that he messed up, but see me, I was wondering why he was on the outside. Like, he could have fell to the inside. Why'd he go to the outside? Then Finn Balor runs in, double foot stomp off the steps on the Priest. Gunther's like, man, he lays him out with a foot kick.
Big old foot.
That was a big foot. That took up his whole head.
Yep, it laid him out.
The whole head. And then he got Priest in the ring, powerbomb. Then go for the pin, apply the 12-6 elbow strikes to the clavicle or the hammer and elbow or something.
Yeah.
Followed by a sleeper and scissor lock. I was like, well, he's about to go out now. And CJ asked, what is your heart on for Damien? And Priest goes out, Gunther retains. It's a replay finish.
Yeah.
It makes, and I wrote that it makes no sense for Balor to run in. Priest has nothing to do with him, moved on, and thus it doesn't compute to me. Maybe they got something in mind for them.
Maybe, because he's got a serious hard on for him. But Priest went so all the way out. He went out so far, he had an escort, man. He was done.
Yep. I'm going to tell you that Balor is small fry. Ain't nothing good working with Finn Balor.
Are you talking about his place in the company or his stature? Okay.
He's not. He's used as a strong mid-card, if that, with comedy skits here and there. And I
maybe he's trying to get something going.
They're never going to see him as top quality.
Wow.
Damian got a shot at top quality. Now they're going to bust him down, but make him dominant over that. It's like you're going to have them warring with a faction, and he got no troops to help. So it's just meaningless. And Ripley's going to have to get re-involved in that crap. I just see it as a waste of time. Find something else. Do something else. Just the writers, man, just certain people got to just break up amicably, do their own thing, and try to rise.
They're all on Raw, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't Raw suck?
I don't think it sucked. It's just not to some people's flavor. That's all. And
that was very nice of you.
They're all accomplished and great wrestlers.
Yeah, I'm not saying the wrestlers suck. I'm talking about the brand.
I don't think the brand suck. I don't know. It's weird. Raw is just weird.
Maybe they got weird writers.
Maybe. So now we get to the main event of the evening. The Bloodline versus the original Gangsters Bloodline.
The over-the-counter Bloodline.
Yep. Now, commentary calls Solo's the new Bloodline. I'm like, no, y'all trying to separate. No, that's the Bloodline. They are not the new Bloodline because he took over the Bloodline and reforged it while Roman was gone, out. He abandoned everything. And we know why he had to leave. But storyline-wise, he just said, no.
He just checked out.
Yeah. Storyline-wise, I ain't showing up. I ain't got nothing to do with nothing, man.
And then when he came back, he was Tylenol.
Yep. So, I was wrong. I knew Tama Tonga was going to be the fall guy. Tama Tonga was almost the life of the party.
He was. He's like a hyena. He's like the hyena from the original Lion King.
It's like, want a mall? I want a mall. Well, go mall. Yeah. That's Tama. Yeah. Almost gnashing at the teeth and stuff. Tama laterally scaled the cage. And I think this is the first time being in a super cage. So I think he was just having a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. I would have been like, get your ass off that cage before you fall and mess up your leg. And then whoever come in first got to go and beat on a man for 5 minutes who got a messed up knee or leg.
He was scaling the cage laterally. Going across the corners, talking shit to the crowd. Y'all jacking the whole time.
Tama like he's too ready to be ready. Mm-hmm. He's insane, and it's fun. I give it. I wish they would use him to his actual potential. Man, Tama would wow the crowd. So Punk came out and he just mushed Bronson Reed
in the face,
riling up the whole bloodline. Roman come out. It's like, the Hornets can't get out, so you just pissed one off. Mm-hmm. Roman comes out, and so the first 4, they're locked in the cage, so, Jay can make his entrance. I thought Jimmy was going to be the one to go against Tama Tonga. So, all right. Look, I've misjudged a lot of stuff in this. I'm not even going to lie. I didn't know it was going to be like this. So, Jay makes his epic hype entrance. The problem with Jay Uso's entrance is that it takes a lot of energy to keep doing it, An American crowd isn't about that. Overseas, they're going to be 100% with you. But American crowd is like, all right, we did it the first time, get to the ring. We want to see tables and chairs and high spots. Get to the ring, but make it look good and believable. But do the high spots. That's the American crowd. So after he came out, which his intro, Jay's looked good.
Yeah.
After that first, arm waving, they was kind of like, all right, we good. And then he tries to pump him up again, every time the chorus rolls around. And the crowd's like, you could see him, we kind of tired, bro. And he gets about and then he climbs up to the cage. I think that was his fourth time doing it. The crowd's like, I think you could see the crowd was split. They're like, look, man, you there, we good. And the other side was like, we're doing something. I was like, bruh, now you're going to be blown up. And he was. Mm-hmm. So Tama Tonga, being the professional that he is, I don't know if you saw it, Cedra. I don't know if you saw it. Tama was sitting up on top looking like some kind of gargoyle goblin thing.
The whole time. Yes, I saw it. Looking creepy as hell. Yep. He excels at the creep factor.
Imagine him sitting up there like that with his old face paint on.
That's somebody that you wouldn't mess with.
So, Jey Uso is like kind of huffing and puffing. And Tama does everything slow so he can get his wind back.
Yeah.
Tama does a great job delaying everything. I think he waited about damn near 2 or 3 minutes.
Yep.
So
being creepy.
Yep. Tama did well. Just in there.
And it makes sense because he crazy. You don't just run up on crazy. You don't run up on a venomous cobra. You got to approach carefully.
Yep. So now Roman comes out. Let's see what I did that. This is Tama versus Jey Uso. So Tama beat down Jey. Went for the pin. And he's like, oh man. And the fans chant, you messed up. Well, the F word. So, and I was like, how can I say this? All I felt was negative thoughts towards the fans. I'm like, y'all just dumb. Y'all so dumb. Y'all don't even know what wrestling is.
Hey, man.
It's a professional wrestling match, right?
Yeah.
You hit a good move. You hit a big move. What do you do naturally? Go for the pin.
That's the whole point, is try to win. You're not trying to wrestle for eternity.
The fans are so, I'm going to have to honestly say for this, unsmart. They have no idea how much they done kayfabe themselves. They kayfabe themselves. The initial point of saying you messed up was because they know how, the fans know how a spot should go. So if you're supposed to do an Asai moonsault, you slip and fall back into a senton instead, and you barely get that, it's like you messed up. That makes sense.
What Thomas should have done, be like, oh, I effed up, huh? And he should have just rained holy hell down on him.
That's what he should have done.
That's what he should have been. If I messed up, he's going to take the punishment. That's what should have happened. But,
I had to note that I like that he tried to go for the pin because it shows wrestling.
Because he's a wrestler.
That's right. Bronson Reed, he enters, but he had to get several chairs. And by the time he got in, he's a walking weapon, but he had to get weapons, right? Yeah. As big as you are, it made no sense. But Jay beats him to the punch and starts throwing chairs, hitting him in the head a few times. And Bronson knocked the chair down.
Yep.
And then Jay.
Mm-hmm.
And so, and Cedra says, finally, see, she has no idea when I'm writing what she's saying. Finally, to see chairs wielded like something. If they're going to have them bitches wielding chairs, then they need different chairs.
It's true. No point with wielding a weapon you can't handle. They're just gonna take it from you or knock it out your hand.
Yep. So Jimmy Uso, he comes in and just enters with no items. We like that.
Yep.
Jimmy does well keeping the heels off kilter and giving his brother a reprieve.
He needed one.
Yes.
He needed a reprieve because he was catching it.
And so Reed, he had to wait for an eternity for the Usos to get done with Tama before they hit him. He was just standing in the corner waiting to get hit. I'm like, man, you should have just laid one of them out. That's what you should have done. Waited too long. Tonga Loa, he was ready to go. Solo was like, no. Called an audible, put Jacob in. And the fans was like, oh, here it is. Jacob gets in, beats them down, gives Reed and Tonga needed rest. Punk was going to come in, but Roman stops him and sends Sammy Uso, I'm calling him that now instead of Zayn, or Sami Zayn Uso. And he looked back wondering if y'all going to be all right in that cage. Sammy puts in some work on Reed, helps his team recover. Then Tonga Loa is next while Punk stands in the cage looking like a guy knowing he's fired the next day. I got to scroll down because I did 4 pages on this. So Tonga Loa, he comes down the aisle to a chorus of boos.
Yeah.
He ain't even really got heel status yet other than association. But they're booing him. Then he gets a table, then they cheer him. I'm like, y'all are so fickle. I'm like, y'all fans make intelligent people turn against you. So the timer runs out and Roman begins to walk out of the cage and CM Punk blows past him.
Gran Turismo style.
Yep. If y'all remember that commercial, Gran Turismo, the dude is looking for this guy, the driver, and he goes to the men's bathroom and he gets to the last stall and the dude just blows out the stall and runs past him. I was like, oh, you won't catch in that. And that's how Punk did it. So Jacob and the rest, they're just waiting on Punk. This is waiting like as he just said, like a bunch of hyenas. And Punk got a toolbox to even the odds, and it does. And you can hear the stuff rattling around in there.
He beat the hell out of Tonga Loa.
Yep. I wrote he waylays on Loa until he escapes under the buckle. Punk bulldogs Jacob on the toolbox, and Jacob just eats it, gets up, Samoan drops Punk.
A beautiful Samoan drop.
And I'll be honest with you, what happened to that toolbox? Because it was gone after that.
It was gone after that, yeah. Somebody kicked to the side, and that's where it stayed.
Yeah, I don't remember it being in the cage after that.
It was so much red on them dudes. You wouldn't have noticed.
I was just watching the match, trying to type. So then Solo Sikoa is next and anchoring his team, who acknowledges him while the faces are down. Solo slams the cage on a few faces and
yeah,
and then he gets a chain. He gets the BME on the stacked up Usos, and then Reed does a diving body press on Sammy. Punk stands up, slaps Solo, and then he got beat down.
Yeah.
Punk is like, I am defiant to the core.
They had him surrounded.
Yep. Solo chain locks the door and shouts, Roman, your ass ain't getting in here. We popped on that one. But he can just climb the cage and, dive on someone.
Yeah, we figured that out.
That defeats the idea. It's like Trump's border wall. Just walk through it or climb over it or dig up under it. I mean, it's just, now, you literally could have done that with the cage. You could have pulled it away from the ring and slid up under there. That was an option. Roman Reigns makes his way down with Solo talking trash. Issues with Reigns not entering, the match can't begin.
But it's short-lived.
Yep. Roman begins climbing and Tama climbs and gets knocked down. Reed goes and, does the same and he falls. Jacob, he gets a hold and he's kicked off. Solo's head is bobbled off the cage. Roman's just clearing house. Roman then dives onto everybody from the top rope, and the match has started with no official arena announcement. As soon as I was like, okay, I thought as soon as he climbs over the cage, they'll announce it.
Nah.
Okay, he's on the top rope. Maybe they'll announce it once he's on the mat.
Nah.
So Roman beats down the heels and rouses his group, ignoring Punk, who's laying there like, you know what, man, I'm getting about tired of you.
Yeah, he gets everybody to his feet and then waves Punk off. They all laying there riding. He just waves Punk off like, man, screw you.
As they begin to argue, Heyman comes down to the ring to a good pop, and he unites the group like, this is war games. We work together, yada, yada, yada. And now the announcement is made to start the war games match.
There's a nice good old-fashioned face off.
Yep. Both rings are cut off and the fight begins.
Man, oh man, action.
Here you go. We're not doing this.
What? They're men.
I'm not doing this.
They're engaged in action.
A miscue happens, and as Punk tries, Punk tries to GTS Jacob. Solo evades Reigns, who spears Punk.
What's a GTS Jacob?
Didn't Punk have Jacob up on his shoulders for the go to sleep?
Oh, you made it sound like that was a full move. I'm like, the GTS Jacob.
I said he tries to GTS Jacob.
Oh, I didn't hear the try. The GTS Jacob. What the hell? Jacob got his own vehicle.
He do. He do. It's called forward. But when you look at that, I was like, that didn't look well because it was like Solo was going to do the spike, but Roman dodged it. And I'm like, no. It's like Solo was going to do it, but he just kind of stepped to the side. And Roman's like, I got my shot at Punk. Because that's what it looked like.
Yeah.
It didn't look like an evasion. It didn't look like a counter or reversal. It just like, I'm going to stand to the side while you just hit him. And he's like, yeah, because all I want to do is hit Punk.
And Punk, he landed that go to sleep, but he had to heave.
Yep.
He had to, it was not easy.
And Reed, he hit a Spicoli driver on Punk, and then Punk rolled away from the BME, and that's when Jacob hurt his leg.
He really?
I think it might have been legit.
No. He got Reed got a Spicoli driver on Punk.
Yeah.
I missed that.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh, it was good. I thought you saw it. I thought you just didn't care.
No, I missed it. You know, I like a good Spicoli driver.
Yeah, because I said it. I was like, oh, he did that good. And you just kept going.
There's a lot going on. Maybe I was watching something else.
You probably was. There's a lot going on in that ring. You know, table set up by the heels. Roman low blows Jacob, spears Solo, and Reed super kicks Reigns. Reed goes super fly height, and Punk pulls Roman out of the way off the table. Reed just destroyed the table. It was in three perfect sections. The middle part looked like a Fire Pro table that you pointed out.
Yeah, and three pieces. That was
so now
crazy.
we know the table in Fire Pro is only a third.
It's a third. It's not a half.
Not a half. Roman lends a hand to Punk, and the fans come up when he accepts.
Yay!
Brotherly love.
Getting along.
Then a finisher bonanza with Solo getting 2 spikes on Reigns and the save by the Usos on the pin. Jacob's knee is not working with him.
It's not.
And you know, either he's hurt or he's just that damn good at selling.
I think he might be that good. I hope he's not hurt.
I hope he's not hurt. Jacob needs to never be hurt.
Jacob is at the perfect size.
Yep.
He doesn't need to get any bigger or any smaller. He needs to stay right where he is.
The Usos hit the Dudley Death Drop they call 1D. I'm just saying. They aided Ace Crusher, but anyway. Jacob, he lays on the table for everyone to get their moves in. And now look, he's laying on the table, and everyone is getting their moves on everybody else. And he's just laying there, waiting for Jimmy to climb to the top of the cage. And then Jimmy hit the diving body press, the Superfly splash.
It was beautiful. It just took too dang long.
Yep. And I had to note, Jacob would have moved if he wasn't sleeping through the in-ring commercial break. No one tries to pin Jacob as the faces collect themselves. Solo gets up wobbly to find himself alone. And Roman's making some kind of offer that I couldn't really make out. And Solo says, I'm still the tribal chief though. And he goes to fight, and he takes a few foot jabs, and then a running boot in the corner, the GTS, and then a spear by Reigns, who got the pin, and they won the match. And at the end, Roman extends a hand to Punk, takes a bit, but he shakes his hand. Cool.
Yep.
Punk leaves the ring to the open arms of Paul Heyman and says, when I need it, I'm calling in that favor.
And he said, it's yours.
and the faces leave hobbling and walking sore. And they won. They walked to the stage and raised the finger one last time with Punk doing his go to sleep pose in the middle, which I thought looked really good.
It did.
It was an epic ending, and the fans will go home happy. And I know I would probably be supercharged for a few hours. That's how you send the fans off. That was an awesome end to a show. That was right. I enjoyed that ending. The music, all of them right there together. And the storyline is about to branch and join in weird, twisted ways. I like it. I like what they did. I like the three-way match. I like the Gunther's title match to an extent. I like the men's war games. The women's war games should have been a Survivor Series elimination match. That would have
been great.
That would have been better.
So much better.
They would have done that well. I know that much.
And far less weaponry.
Yep. So that's gonna do it.
They need to get someone. I need to get a seasoned woman to train these girls. I don't know who they got, but they fail.
Jacqueline, Jazz. That'd be good.
Yeah.
That'd be good. So women that know what they're doing and know why they're doing it. And stop all that tiptoe crap and all that stuff.
Jacqueline would run in heels. Full out heels.
And she would run across the ring. Jackie was great.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm annoyed that I didn't even take the time to appreciate how great she was, where she was. I'm annoyed by that. But I still got good memories though. So with that, this has been Cedric Procedure for CR Wrestling Commentary on our review of WWE's Survivor Series War Games. And with that, we want y'all to be cool, be chill, be safe, and we'll see you next time. Click the bell.